the New York Giants, and win the very first title against a team from across the river in Manhattan. But if you're talking about a Subway Series, pal, then it is Brooklyn. And Mrs. Fanucci, can Tommy come down? The games are on! And the Bronx, the Bums and the Bombers, Dodger Blue and Yankee pinstripes. And while I got you here, from 1941 to 56, the Yankee fans and the maniacs from Brooklyn would ride the BMT line for 7 World Series. Can you imagine that? 7 times they did this. And the players and the moments from those series are unbelievable. You never forget them. Josie kicking the dirt, Jackie stealing home. I knew that I was in there. Yogi was a little upset about it. The players, man, Pee-wee in the scooter, Mickey in the Duke, Whitey and Nuke. And the last series in 56, Don Larson, baby, perfect, forget about it. He's got to get out of the way. Right here. Yeah, but he's got it away in the zone. He's got to get out of the way. He was standing there. He may know it counts it. He's standing right in front of the bat. It's a fly ball to center field and deep. That's going to be way back, and that's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson, third home run of the game.
We've been on the run, driving in the sun, looking up for #1. California, here we come, right back where we started from. We're headed to the floor, thinking of the war, gotta get us to the show. California, here we come, California.
It is Fox Saturday Baseball, not just your game of the week. Along with Kevin Kennedy, I'm Jeannie Zelasco. The decades-old curse of the Bambino visits the shores of McCovey Cove, and 23 Octobers have passed since last they met. It's the Yankees at Dodger Stadium. It's about time, Kevin.
Unbelievable. I was there last night. What energy. 55,000 plus, the most in regular season history for the Los Angeles Dodgers, largely because the Yankees were in town, and they stayed till the end at Dodger Stadium. The fans didn't go away.
Who knew? All right, let's talk about the other big matchup.
Big matchup is Pedro Martinez versus Barry Bonds. That's classic. 2 future Hall of Famers. Pedro, no, he does not throw 97 anymore. Still get it up there once in a while like that. But for facing Barry Bonds, is he going to throw fastballs 3 in a row, 4 in a row? I doubt it. He's got a great changeup, great curve, great cutter. Will he throw inside, knock him off the plate? Yes. It's one of the matchups you want to see. Bonds versus Pedro Martinez. Who's the best in the game?
All right, from bats to arms, maybe the Yankees getting a little bit of their own medicine this weekend?
You're talking about Eric Gagne?
Yes,
yeah, talking about 2 of the most dominant closers in baseball. Mario Rivera with the Yankees, Eric Gagne with the Dodgers. What better way to talk about him to catch up the guys that actually catch these guys? Paul LaDuca and Jorge Posada.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Both guys, and I hate to say this, but it's true, they embarrass good big league hitters. I mean, that's how dominant they are.
I tell you, Gagne's been unbelievable. He's been lights out, and Mo's been the same way. Mo's been doing it forever.
What about Eric Gagne? Your feelings catching Eric Gagne?
You uplift the team. You just feel you're going to go home with a win. Same when Mo steps on the mound, Eric steps on the mound. You just feel you're going to win, and I think that's half the battle.
To be a closer, in your guys' opinion, what do you have to have mentally?
Eric's like, here it is. If he hits it, he hits it. And that's the kind of mentality you have to have. You got to go with your best stuff. And I think that's the same thing with Mo. You're going to face a guy who's a great fastball hitter, has struggles with changeup, but Mo's like, well, here's what you're going to hit my best stuff.
I think both of them are really smart, too. You know, they understand a hitter better than anybody else. If they're going to go after a hitter with their good stuff, it doesn't matter. You know, like you say, a fastball hitter, I'm a fastball pitcher. I mean, I'm still going to go after you, get on top of you, get ahead of you, and then you're going to have to hit my pitch.
If you had to face Mo, would you hit right-handed or left-handed?
I don't know. I think I'll hit left-handed, you know, but, you know, Mo's been tough on lefties.
Paul, you're a great hitter as well. If you had to approach Gagne, how would you approach him?
I would look fastball and, God, hope I hit it. Because I see guys in the box and take a fastball and swing it and look at me and go, I'm done, ain't I? And I said, yeah, you probably are.
You guys were a little young the last time they matched up in the World Series in '81. What are your guys feeling on matching up during the regular season?
It's going to come down to who's better bullpen. You know, we'll see who, Mariano or Gagne, who's better. So it's going to be fun.
So Eric Gagne gets round 1 last night. Another save, 80 consecutive now. That's a major league record. Mario Rivera, the best in postseason history. 30 saves, 0.75 earned run average. These two guys are unbelievable. Gagne actually has 3 out pitches, 98 fastball, great changeup, and the curveball that Bernie Williams saw last night to end the ballgame. Mario Rivera, 1 basic pick, a cutter. Unbelievable.
Gagne's curveball that he picked up from Pedro.
That's right.
As the manager of the Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda went to bed every night with the same prayer. Dear God, if you can see it in your heart to put us in another fall classic, please let it be against the Yankees. Understandable. These two always put on a good show.
1955 when we finally won a World Championship, and Johnny Padres shut out the Yankees 2-0, and he got on the bus at Ebbets Field to go to Yankee Stadium that day, and he says, "Just get me one run. That's all I'm going to need." And we all laughed. "Okay, John, we'll get you one." Well, we gave him a bonus. We got him 2, and that's all he needed. He only needed 1. We shut him out 2-0.
Well, I'm 16 years old. I remember going into the principal's office and getting permission to leave St. Francis Prep. I have tickets. Can I go? I was sitting in the 3rd deck between third base and left field. And I remember rooting for the Dodgers because I was a National League fan. And I think I became a Yankees fan about the 5th or 6th inning when we saw what was happening. It was exciting.
Reggie liked the big moments. He enjoyed being in the limelight. And one good thing about it, he didn't shy away from it. He performed. I remember the three-run homer game very vividly. I remember the last one being off Charlie Huff, the knuckleball. Hit it into the right center field bleacher.
Classic matchup because from 1941 to 1981, the Dodgers and the Yankees met 11 times in the World Series, the Yankees winning 8 of those. Now, might have been one more for the Dodgers had it not been for 1978. Reggie Jackson, an interference play that you saw in the open where Lasorda argued. Ron Say talked to me earlier in the week. He said, "Kevin, Reggie always shows up at the big moment. I hope he misses his flight to L.A. this time." Well, guess what? Reggie's in town once again. So is Ronnie Say.
And nobody wanting to miss this. And we want you to check in FoxSports.com, which is baseball's greatest franchise.
Well, speaking of Ron Say, paid a lot of respect. 26 World Championships. Said you got to give it to the Yankees. But if that's the case, the Dodgers have to be a close second. Cubs, Red Sox, Giants, all classic historical organizations.
Yeah, it is hard to live up to the original. And on this Father's Day weekend, we're reminded it's no easy task to live up to Dad's achievements, especially if you're a ball player. The talent and will can be enormous, still the pressure can be even greater. So how do you explain Ken Griffey Jr.?
I learned at an early age that I am Ken Griffey Jr. I'm not nobody else. I think I did a talent show in like the 4th grade, and I went through, you know, all the stances of Pete Rose, Joe Morgan.
That was your talent?
It was just a talent show we had to throw together. And my dad happened to be there for it. And he pulled me aside. He said, "You're my son. I just want you to be my son. I don't want you to be anybody else." And from that point on, I just said, "Okay, I'm going to be me."
When I look in my father's eyes, my father's eyes.
What's it like when you show up to a Little League practice?
To them, I'm a normal parent. Before I went to spring training, they held practice, and I shagged for the kids. So Trey decided he wanted to hit a home run. He hits one out of the ballpark and rounds first, and he winks at me.
Would you wish this existence, this life, now you're walking in your dad's shoes, would you wish that on your son?
No, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, I don't really care what he does. I mean, as long as he's happy, that's it. He's my son, and whatever he wants to do.
When I look in my father's eyes.
Comeback player of the year, no question, in Major League Baseball. Junior on his way to 500 when he hits it. Be number 20 all time. No question about he's going to the Hall of Fame. Talked to Junior in spring training. He has so much respect for his dad. He said, "Kevin, I just want to be healthy, be a Cincinnati Red into August because my dad's going to the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame at that time." A great player in his own right.
Yeah, impressive numbers for the Griffies, but so are these. For the past week and a half, Major League Baseball has been collecting cash.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, look at that size.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Keep hitting them, guys. Home runs.
The money goes to fight prostate cancer. The home run challenge continues through tomorrow. Everyone fighting helps keep Dad in the game. And we need to get you out to your ball game. More like a stroll down memory lane as the Yankees return to the scene of one of their worst crimes in their history. Who will be apologizing after this one? The giant problem by the Bay now belongs to Pedro and the Red Sox. It is interleague intrigue at its finest. Fox Saturday Baseball, your game of the week.
The
1940s and 50s were a golden time for New York baseball. The Yankees ruled the Bronx, and in Brooklyn, where trolley cars were dodged, there were the Dodgers. The teams of that era were filled with stars and met 7 times in the World Series. Along with the Giants, it meant Octobers had a constant New York flavor. Over time, and over opposite ends of the country, the Yankees and Dodgers had 4 more fall classics. It's been 23 years since the last, and interleague play finally brings them together again. Welcome to an afternoon at Dodger Stadium, a day in Los Angeles. The stars are out, Billy Crystal, Don Newcomb, even Fernando Valenzuela with Ron Cey in the background. Everybody here to watch the New York Yankees take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 2 of this 3-game interleague series. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver in just a moment. Everybody, since the schedule came out, has been looking forward to this rematch, looking forward to the Dodgers and Yankees getting together. Why? Because of the history between these two franchises, meeting 11 times in the Fall Classic. But forget history for just a moment. Let's talk about the present. Here in 2004, this right now is a meeting of 2 first-place teams. And Tim McCarver, you look at these 2 teams, the Yankees and Dodgers on top in their respective divisions. However, these are 2 teams that are very different as they stand here today in June.
There are similarities, however. The Yankees with a great bullpen, the same with the Dodgers. The Dodgers with a better defense. The biggest difference between these 2 clubs is that the New York Yankees have several guys who can carry the offense. Bernie Williams can do it. Gary Sheffield, Derek Jeter, Jason Giambi, of course, Alex Rodriguez. That's the one thing the Dodgers need. They need for a guy like Shawn Green to come to the top of the class.
And if it's not Shawn Green, then everybody says make a deal. Get somebody in here to make this Dodger team better. They have a shot at getting to the postseason this year. You look throughout history, 11 times in the Fall Classic, the different programs from each season. The last one on top of the pack, 1981. We're happy to be here in L.A. Dodgers and Yankees next on Fox. This place has a totally different feel to it on a Saturday afternoon. The Yankees are in town. The Dodgers right now are in first place, and we are ready for baseball on a 69-degree day here in Los Angeles. Hideo Nomo is on the mound, and we look at the Yankee lineup. Williams, Jeter, and Rodriguez. Then it's Giambi, Sheffield, and Matsui in the middle. John Flaherty does the catching today, Miguel Cairo. And then it's the rookie, Brad Halsey, making his Major League debut on a game of the week here against the Dodgers. Glad you're with us, and the first pitch to Bernie Williams is in for strike 1. Hideo Nomo has had a horrible year. He has lost his last 6 decisions. He has an ERA of 7.56. That's the second highest among starters in all of Major League Baseball. The Dodgers need him to figure it out. And the Yankees will try to jump on him early in the count. That's popped up left side. Playable. Beltre. Wow. Pretty good start defensively for the Dodgers, and that's something, Tim, that you pointed out early. This is a very good defensive LA team.
Outstanding defense on the infield. Beltre, only 25 years old, and he's been in the major leagues for 7 years. But their middle infielders are as good as anybody. Jose Hernandez starting today, but this is Turris. Cesar Esturris, the shortstop, made a remarkable play in last night's ball game.
It is amazing to think that a shortstop as good as Esturris playing in a market like Los Angeles is overlooked, but he's overlooked.
He is.
Hitting 300, making tremendous plays day after day. Here's Jeter. Great pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of early pitch swinging from the Yankees to try to combat that split-fingered pitch that Nomo has late in the count.
Early pitch swinging and early pitch running. The scouting report on Hideo Nomo. Does anybody remember Barry Manilow? Well, I do, as Nomo tries to get that feeling again. He's won 32 games over the last 2 years, and the stretch of the windup, he has been so much more successful from the stretch this year than he has from the windup.
The problem is he's always got guys on base, so he gets to use it a lot.
Yeah. Well, there's been talk about him going to a stretch with nobody on. His teammate, Kaz Ishii, did that on Thursday against the Baltimore Orioles. Jim Colburn says suggestion is the first, or at the top of his list, not going to demand it.
1 ball, 1 strike on A-Rod.
Here's the graphic relating to Nomo. 364 with the bases empty and with runners on. Batter's batting only .250.
Check on the runner. Against Nomo, he's always trying to work on getting the ball to the plate quicker. But he has that elongated windup, and he's not that quick to the plate. We'll see if the Yankees want to run with Jeter. There he goes. Ross's throw. 2 out.
Oh, good throw by David Ross, the catcher. Jeter choosing the proper pitch on which to run, the splitter. So Ross has to wait back, actually a short hop, a backhanded short hop, coming up and throwing a strike to Jose Hernandez.
Your eyes just bugged.
Man, that's some play by David Ross.
Jeter does not get thrown out on the bases very often.
No.
That's only the 3rd time he's been caught stealing. He's so smart, such a good base runner. As Tim said, pick the right pitch, but Ross just made a great play. 2 out, and the count's 3-1 on Alex Rodriguez. Former Rookie of the Year here with the Dodgers deals, and that's strike 2. Rookie of the Year in '95, went 13-6. Then traded to the Mets in '98, signed with Chicago, then to Milwaukee, then to Detroit, then to Boston in 2001, was a 13-game winner. Back to L.A. For the last 2 seasons, he's been a 16-game winner. Only 3 wins this year. Still 3-2. Not one time this season has Nomo pitched deeper than 6 innings into a ball game. And right now, the Dodger rotation is rounding into form. Odalis Perez has been much better. An ERA under 2 his last 6 starts. Jose Lima has been a nice addition. Ishii has been hot. Even Weaver was good last night. Good enough. A 2-out walk. Tim, they don't really need much from their starters with the kind of combination they have in their bullpen with Dreifert, Moda, and then right now the hottest in the game, Gagne.
Gagne is their stopper. They have the best earned run average for a bullpen of any major league team. So Jim Tracy has figured out, like the Yankees did back in 1996, play a 6-inning game and then hand it to the bullpen. Have the lead after 6. That's their aim.
1 on, 2 out. Giambi at the plate. He starts and stops. And that's strike 1. Usually when you hold against a runner and you have a left-handed batter at the plate, there's a lot of room on the right side. The room is more toward the middle, with a second baseman, Jose Hernandez, tucked over in the hole. He almost steps off. Alex Rodriguez has stolen 12, been caught only once. 28-year-old third baseman has really come on. There hasn't been as much written about Alex Rodriguez settling in, getting his legs underneath him at third base, hitting the ball, driving in runs, like there was when he wasn't doing anything early with the Yankees. And I think the perception across the country is that he's still struggling, and he's not. Not running, and ball 1 to Giambi.
Alex was on base 53 consecutive games. And I think, Joe, the reason that a lot of the country thinks that of Alex Rodriguez is still struggling was because of his start in April when he hit only 255. That horrible Boston series when he went only 1 for 17 at Fenway Park.
Giambi way out in front, strike 2. How many times have we shown up here for a Saturday game as you look at the splitter from Nomo, and it's just been a yawn fest out here.
Especially the first 2 innings.
People aren't here. They come late. There's no crowd noise. Waiting for some reason to cheer. They had Rodriguez leaning towards second, but able to get back. And from last night, the biggest regular season crowd in Dodger Stadium history, to today, to tomorrow night, they are expecting an enormous weekend attendance-wise here at Dodger Stadium. 55,207 packed in here last night, and they saw a good game. One ball, 2 strikes on Giambi. Wow, Ross nearly picked off Rodriguez and again got it on a short hop. Ross got his rest last night. He is ready for this early start.
Most backup catchers get their rest. I tell you, David Ross has come out throwing, almost nailing Rodriguez at first base. In fact, had Sean Green caught the ball on the bag, they have Rodriguez, but he caught it in front of the bag and brought the glove back.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Giambi hooks it foul. Last night, the Dodgers had everything go according to plan. Jeff Weaver went 6th. Reifert, an eye-popping 7th. Boda, even better in the 8th. And then Gagne with a nasty pitch to freeze Bernie Williams and end the night. A 6-3 Dodger victory. Their 36th win of the year, and they have a 2.5-game lead over San Francisco. The 2-2. The Yankees, meanwhile, come in 42-23. Their lead has been cut down to 3.5 as Boston just kept pounding home runs last night at the Giants. And the Red Sox have won 2 straight. The Yankees have lost 2 in a row. Nomo's 2-2. Cannot put Giambi away. Jason, from 1995 through 2002, had an average of 309, hitting only 249 his last 2 years. However, his home run rate has been better per at bat. He's looking for a mistake here to hammer. Rodriguez at first with 2 out. Nomo is paying attention to him. We will see the major league debut of Brad Halsey in the bottom of this first inning. And the Yankees have a couple of reasons why they hope to get a good effort and outing from Halsey today. That's inside, full count.
Just missing with the fastball. With the shift on, there's no real reason for Sean Green to play behind the runner, because Jose Hernandez is parked at deep first.
A-Rod will run, 3-2 pitch, and that's a foul ball, and it was almost hit right at Green at the bag.
One of the good things about playing a hitter to pull like that is on a 3-2 count with 2 outs, you can hold the bag Green did and almost came up with the play.
Bernie Williams fouled out. Jeter singled, was out stealing. Rodriguez walked. The 10th pitch of this at bat. Giambi fouls another. Nomo came in his career 40-29 pitching here at Dodger Stadium. Coming into this season with a good ERA of 3.16. He has not been good here in Los Angeles this season, 1-4. Runner goes, another foul. I have almost used up every bit of research that I had coming into this game, and we're in the first.
You're out of bullets.
Why don't we just sit back and watch a 3-2 pitch to Jason Giambi. Tim?
The one guy who hates an at-bat like this is the guy on base, Alex Rodriguez. 3-2, compelled the run. Gary Sheffield on deck. Alex saying, Jason, put the ball in play between the lines, please.
Another 3-2 pitch. And after that long at bat, a very good at bat by Giambi. It's 2 on with 2 out. Back-to-back walks. And already the Dodgers are starting to sweat through another Hideo Nomo inning. Former Dodger Gary Sheffield digs his way in, and if the Yankees want one guy at the plate, trying to give them a first inning lead, it's a guy who has a career .364 average against Los Angeles. There are his numbers his first year with the New York Yankees. 35-year-old outfielder. First in the big leagues in '88. He played here in LA from '98 through 2001. Put up some big numbers. Ball 1. Two on with 2 out. Yankees looking for a first inning lead, and that misses. 2-0. Career against the Dodgers, 73 games. .364 average, 17 home runs. Here's a 2-0. Pulled. 2 balls and a strike.
I think what you're seeing in this first inning is the problem in microcosm that Nomo has had this year. He's always had control problems, but this year he's not striking out better. 26 strikeouts, 25 walks, 2 here in the first inning.
A 2-1 to Sheffield. On the inside corner, 2-2, and again Nomo is 1 strike away from getting out of a long first inning. That has just made Brad Halsey wait a little longer for his major league debut. He'd like some runs. 2-2 pitch. Sheffield might provide it. Bradley will come up throwing. They bring Rodriguez to the plate. 1-0 New York. Gary Sheffield with another hit against Dodger pitching. And the Yankees are on the board first against Nomo.
Oh, those bases on balls. A patient at bat by Sheffield. That ball kind of knuckleball through the middle. Going away from Milton Bradley. That ball nearly eluded Bradley in center field as Rodriguez scores the first run of the ball game.
Now it's a meeting between Hideo Nomo and Hideki Matsui.
For the first time in their careers, they are facing one another. Two superpowers from Japan.
Strike one. Hideo Nomo experienced it when he came to the Dodgers in '95, being followed. His every move was followed by the Japanese media, and the same can be said for Hideki Matsui, his first year with the Yankees. Now these two meet. Matsui tries to add to the Yankee lead. There's two quick strikes. Who's going to get the best picture? I'm betting on the guy in the top right corner. Here's an 0-2. Matsui reaches out and hooks it down the line. That is trouble. In the corner, it is gone for a home run. 3-run home run by Hideki Matsui, and it's 4-0 New York. All of this with 2 out against Hideo Nomo.
Here comes Jim Colburn, the pitching coach of the Dodgers. This is a bad swing by Matsui. Totally fooled on the pitch. Rear end out, right leg toward first, but strong enough to just eke it inside the foul pole.
And it looked like that despite that fan reaching out and catching it, that ball had enough to get out.
That's what first base umpire Charlie Relaford had to determine.
In honor of Father's Day, we'll be taking time to support the Home Run Challenge, Major League Baseball's effort to raise money to fight prostate cancer. With each home run hit today, $35,000 will be donated to find a cure and help keep Dad in the game. We talked about it moments ago with Hideo Nomo. Getting innings out of Nomo, quality innings, crucial for the Dodgers. And now Nomo is in a spot where he doesn't figure it out right now, maybe here today. As this game wears on, he may be out of the rotation. This is Flaherty flying one to left field, and after a long top of the first inning, the Yankees will settle for 4. 33-pitch inning. Hideo Nomo wanders off the mound, and the Yankees give the rookie, Brad Halsey, a 4-run first-inning lead. Today's game on Fox brought to you by DHL. Finally, a new choice in domestic shipping. DHL, we move the world, and by GMC, we are professional grade. Great start for the Yankees here today. They get 4 runs in the first inning, capped on a 3-run shot by Hideki Matsui. We look at the Dodgers lineup. Very good. Cesar Izturis leads it off. Then it's Jason Worth, Bradley Green, Adrian Beltre, the 25-year-old having a great year. Encarnacion, Jose Hernandez, David Ross, and Hideo Nomo. Will Hideo Nomo last long enough to bat in this game? Here's Brad Halsey. And the PR machine for the Yankees is cranking at full speed as they hope that this guy sprouts into this big prospect, and maybe either A, he's good enough that they keep him around, or B, they put him in a deal with some kids in the minor leagues to try to get Freddie Garcia from Seattle, or Carlos Beltran, the outfielder from the Royals. First pitch is a strike from Halsey to Izturis. Izturis is hitting .314 in the hole 0-2.
Last start for Brad Halsey was in Rochester, New York on Tuesday night. He went 5 innings for the Columbus Yankees. Bucky Dent, the manager down there, and Neil Allen, his pitching coach. In fact, Neil Allen came to Dodger Stadium with Brad Halsey 2 nights ago.
He starts his big league career with a strikeout. Here is the scouting report, not from Tim, but from his new manager, Halsey's new manager, Joe Torre.
Jason Worth.
Very good in the strike zone. In other words, he's not afraid to throw strikes. Like a lot of young pitchers seem to want to stay away from contact. But he'll throw a fastball and he'll throw off speed, and he mixes it up. And I understand he's very aggressive. So I'm really looking forward to this game as much as anybody.
And you and I know as much as Joe Torre does about Brad Halsey before this starts.
That's right. Joe just saw him for the first time today, and upon first seeing him, he said, Brad, only 23 years old, looks like his paper boy.
There's his first strikeout. He's 1 ball, 1 strike on Jason Worth. So that's San Francisco lead in their game as they take on the Boston Red Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left side, A-Rod can't get to it. And Jason Worth is on with a 1-out base hit. Jeannie Zelasco is right down some highway waiting with a game break.
Well, it depends which way you go. You know the LA traffic. All right, when you're in the Bay Area, everyone's waiting for Barry to hit a home run, but that's not Barry. Ray Durham's solo shot puts the Giants on the board. 3 batters later, Howard Pedro Martinez handled Barry very well, thank you. Went down swinging at 7th pitch at bat. Giants 4-0, bottom 1.
So there's a matchup between Pedro and Barry Bonds, and for Pedro, every time he starts to get excited about the way he's pitching, something like that happens. A 4-run first inning at San Francisco. If you're the Red Sox. First pitch is a strike on the inside corner to Milton Bradley. But just to talk further about Halsey, they talk about his confidence. He's not going to get scared. He throws strikes. And all of a sudden, where we heard so much about Brandon Clausen last year, Clausen came up, pitched a great game against the Mets, then he was in a package deal to get Aaron Boone to New York. Halsey is a guy who may pitch his way right off this team into another organization if the right deal comes along for Brian Cashman, the Yankees GM. Now it's Bradley with a base hit down the right side, and Worth will end up at third base. Bradley digging for 2. Sheffield's throw. Too late. Double. Second and third, 1 out.
Excellent base running by Milton Bradley. Often, when you're down by 4 runs in the first inning, you're a little tentative on the bases. Halsey coming inside, making a good pitch. Bradley running hard all the way and makes it to second base. Good play.
So the edge was taken off a little bit for Halsey with a 4-run top of the first. And now he looks to his right and behind him, and he sees second and third, 1 out, and Sean Green at the plate. Sean Green has got to get it going for the Dodgers.
Go back to our opening, and that's what we said is a guy who has to get it started and be the offensive force that he has been over the past few years for the Dodgers.
He is hitting .368 over his last 18 games, but the RBIs just aren't there. It's a crazy combination for the Dodgers. They have the #1 team batting average in the National League at .277, but they've scored the 3rd fewest runs. See the production from Sean Green this season at the bottom. After huge years in 2001, 2002. Last year was off, and this has been a poor start. 2-0 from Halsey.
Dodgers are having a tough time in the red zone, right? From 20 to 20, they're fine, but they cannot get the run in from third base.
You're right. Green trying to deliver a hit to cut the Yankee lead in half. That's a strike, 2-1. Only 1 home run since the end of May for Sean Green. Ooh, not only a wide strike, but a late strike called by Dan Iasonia, the home plate umpire. And it's 2-2.
2-1 breaking ball, the first breaking ball to Sean Green. And the Yankees got a break there. The ball looked outside and low.
Green delivers a run. Out at first as Worth scores. It's 4-1. So the RBI ground out. Bradley has to hold at second, 2 outs.
Third baseman, number 29.
Well, he doesn't look nervous.
No, he doesn't. You can tell a lot by the eyes, too, of a young pitcher. Looks very calm, very relaxed. He left 7 passes for his brother and friends. They flew in from Austin, Texas.
That's down and in for ball 1. Adrian Beltre is in his walk here. His agent, Scott Boras, is in the front row, about 90 feet right behind him, looking up at the scoreboard at the figures of 16 home runs, 42 RBIs here in June, and starting to hear cha-ching.
Cha-ching, huh?
Most powerful agent in Major League Baseball. So far this season, his numbers are a little better than Alex Rodriguez. But A-Rod has made up a lot of ground after that slow start. But Beltre's been good from the beginning. You look at the numbers, and obviously Alex Rodriguez has done things from the beginning of his career. Put him in line if he stays healthy to challenge the all-time home run record right on down the line. But it's been a good year for Beltre as the count goes to 1-2.
Well, if a team does elect to sign Beltre, they're going to have to determine whether this year is an indication of his prowess as a player or the last 7 years where he has had potential.
That's into right center field. Sheffield goes to get it. And the Dodgers get 1. The Yankees got 4. The Dodgers got 1. And after 1, a 3-run Yankee lead for the rookie lefty, Brad Halsey.
Miguel Cairo.
4-1, the Yankees on top as we go to the second inning. Miguel Cairo, then Brad Halsey. And back to the top, Bernie Williams. First pitch is high from Hideo Nomo, who had a long 33-pitch first inning and a 4-run first inning for New York. David Ross is the backup catcher with the Dodgers, and he's been kind enough to wear a microphone for us during today's game. As Cairo hits it in the air to left center field, Worth got a late break, but he's there. 1 out, and before the game started, early warm-up tosses. Ross and Iasonia had this little chat.
Where you guys coming from? San Diego. Oh, nice, nice. We've been on the West Coast for a month. That's good. Oh, gotta love that. That's good. You know, that Chinese thing kills us, man. Where are you from? Okay. Oh, nice. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida.
These guys just
I'm not far from there. No winter, you live in Florida. Yeah, believe that?
What
Okay,
happens when you're a backup catcher?
With 1 out and nobody on, it's Brad Halsey at the plate. That's just a little getting to know you time from Iasonia to David Ross.
That last part of the clip was referring to us when we were talking, when we heard it between innings. It is. That's what happens with the backup catcher. You don't really know these guys.
Halsey's got his first major league hit. He didn't even make the turn at first base. He ran through the bag.
He doesn't know how to make the turn. He doesn't know which way to turn. He's saying, guys, you can get the first ball if you want, but it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Nothing to it. Check this out. It's almost like an infield hit. Whoa, whoa. Take a left, David. A left.
Willie Randolph, who was part of that World Series in '81 between these two franchises, got a kick out of that, the former third base coach. He'll get all over the 23-year-old left-hander when he comes back in. 1 on, 1 out. Bernie Williams fooled by the forkball, strike 1. So nothing to it for Halsey. He starts the game pitching with a strikeout, and in his first major league at-bat, gets a hit.
Yeah, and if you don't know which way to turn when you're on first base, you haven't been on first base that often, why in the world did they hold him on the first pitch? And Sean Green now is going to move behind him.
especially with a lefty.
Yeah.
Like Bernie Williams at the plate.
Right.
That's it right at him. The throw is a little wide. I think there was a chance to turn 2 anyway, and the force out 3-6. That's why you play off the bag.
Right.
For the Yankees.
So now Halsey will get his fair share of ribbon from his new teammates in the dugout. After the congratulations.
The Yankees realizing he's got to go back out there and pitch. You can't get on him too much. If he were a regular player, you would, but not as a pitcher. But after the game,
1 on, 2 out. The batter is Jeter. Pops it up. Long run, foul ball, and untouched. Unlike so many other ballparks, there is at least some foul territory left here at Dodger Stadium. There used to be so much more before they added those seats behind home plate. And I would imagine for you as a catcher coming here, when the ball got behind you, it was a mad dash to the backstop to try to keep a runner advancing only 1 base.
That area right behind the home plate. You heard Joe Torre talking about, or you haven't heard him yet, but you will, talking about the stars and their attendance right in this area back in here, where quite a few of the movie stars sit. Billy Crystal, Joe mentioned, here before game time today, a huge Yankee fan.
So maybe if the right person was sitting in the front row, that little jog back to the backstop wasn't so bad.
Not bad at all.
Jeter is jammed. He pops it up in a better second inning for Hideo Nomo. Bottom of the second, 4-1 Yankees here in L.A. Major League Baseball on Fox brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And we welcome you back to Dodger Stadium. Bottom of the second, and Juan Encarnacion will lead it off for the Dodgers. Jose Hernandez and David Ross will follow against Brad Halsey, who, to his credit, with one exception, has started every hitter with a strike. Oh, and 2 on Encarnacion, who is starting to get hot. And overall in his career is a .376 hitter against Yankee pitching. Encarnacion, part of the Marlins last year, defeated the Yankees in the World Series, ball 1 high. Marlins, by the way, start the day in first place by 2 games over Philadelphia in the NL East. Cardinals are up 3 on Chicago and Cincinnati, and then the Dodgers have their lead in the West, 2.5 games over the Giants. Still 1 and 2 on Encarnacion. No starter for the Yankees, except for Javier Vasquez, who was the loser here last night, has an ERA under 4. They have Kevin Brown on the disabled list, and they have Mike Messina hoping to avoid the disabled list. One out and nobody on here in the second inning. So when you talk about making deals and Halsey pitching to end up maybe somewhere else as part of a package to get a pitcher, there's also that temptation, and it's always there for the Yankees, to add a hitter. And Carlos Beltran is the guy that's being dangled out there by Kansas City. Allard Baird has not been secretive at all about his desire to make deals, and Beltran will be the first to go most likely. And once the Red Sox say they're interested in Beltran, you look at the numbers for him this season, a team that's been hot recently but has struggled most of the year. Well, the Red Sox are interested in him. The command comes down from on high with the Yankees saying, don't let them get him. Do what you can to stop it.
Yeah, the Yankees, more than any other team, will make a trade to keep him away from another team. I'd say you look at the Yankee outfield, Matsui, Williams, and Sheffield, where would you play Beltran? Well, that's not the point. They might make a trade for him just to keep him away from the Red Sox.
3 balls and a strike on Hernandez. Little Ramirez and Garcia-Parra flavor here at Dodger Stadium. Timeout called prior to the pitch. Mike Messina threw on the side a few days ago, then threw on the side today and looked good. And the word is from the Yankees that he could pitch Tuesday at Baltimore. That's off the plate, foul. So that would mean that Messina would avoid the disabled list. He pulled his groin and had to leave his last start. Kevin Brown at the time said he felt like there was a steel rod in his back. He went on the disabled list with a strained lower back, and the Yankees, I think, were relieved that that's all there was there for Kevin Brown. That's foul.
Kevin on the disabled list for the 11th time since 1995. And the second time in 2 years with back problems.
However, don't make the mistake and think that Kevin Brown wasn't reliable for the Dodgers when he was here. The last 2 years, he pitched 450 innings combined. Jeter, a wide throw, but Hernandez is gone. 2 out. Game break. Jeannie's busy in the studio.
Yes, Joe, you're just underway, but a great finish for you at Wrigley. Bottom line, 2 on, 1 out. Cubs host rests on Michael Barrett, and he doubles home not 1 run, but both of them. The Cubs stop the A's and collect just the 7th win in their last 8 games. They're heating up, Joe.
They are, Jeannie. They have Sosa back. They hope to get Kerry Wood back soon. They're now 2.5 games behind St. Louis. Cardinals are entertaining Cincinnati this weekend. Ken Griffey Jr. goes after career home run number 500. Grzelcyk back this weekend. Merker is back off the disabled list. They have lost Borowski, their closer, for at least a month with a bad shoulder. But the injury bug is leaving the Cubs here, and they've been able to stay in the race while those guys have been out. So watch out.
Going into Houston this past week and sweeping the Houston Astros. Problems continue to mount for Houston. The trade to the New York Mets this week, Richard Hidalgo, the once fine outfielder. I say once fine because he was not having a good year this year. Traded to the Mets for David Weathers and a minor leaguer.
A 2-2. Takes ball 3. So the Mets hoping that Hidalgo can find it. And the Astros hoping Weathers can help their tired bullpen. Couple of hops to Jeter. Ross is gone, and that'll do it for the first 2 here at Dodger Stadium. 4-1 Yankees. Back after this, after a word from your local station. You can play Hit the Pros, presented by the all-new GMC Canyon, and face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com. Keyword games, GMC, we are professional grade. Alex Rodriguez leads it off for the Yankees, and the first pitch is up and in a bit. Ball 1. A-Rod walked in the first, then Giambi, after a great at-bat, threw a walk. Gary Sheffield with a 2-out RBI hit. And with 2 strikes, Hideki Matsui hit a 3-run home run down the right field line. That's to the left side for his Turris. With a good arm. Big stretch by Green, 1 out. Give you a look at the AmeriQuest All-Star Ballot update. You can log on to MLB.com to cast your AmeriQuest All-Star Ballot today. This is the American League, obviously, with Ramirez, Guerrero, and Sheffield in the outfield. A-Rod, Jeter, Soriano, Giambi. And then in the National League, Bonds is the league's leading vote-getter, with Griffey Jr. and Sosa, fan favorite. Here is Giambi. 1 out, nobody on. And Giambi takes high for ball 1. A nice night, Tim, last night for Mike Piazza at Shea Stadium. They honored him. 355 home runs as a catcher. Bench was there, Carter, Yogi, Fisk. There's a great quote from Johnny Bench. He said, when I first saw Mike Piazza, he looked, when he was at the plate, like he made the ball stop. He was so fast through the hitting area.
Yeah, I saw that quote, and that was said, by the way, by the best catcher in the history of the game on both sides of the ball, Johnny Bench.
How far will that jump? Back at the track is Worth, and off the bat of Giambi, it's out number 2. He said Barry Bonds did it. George Foster said it looked the same way when Foster swung the bat.
Gary Sheffield.
And this is, would call it an era of more productive hitting catchers or more powerful hitting catchers. And you look at Piazza and you think about a guy like Posada and what he has done. And I know that there are times where defensively he will struggle, but I know you are impressed him with what Posada's accomplished in his big league career.
Well, I'll say, you know, just catching that many games during the year, throwing as well as he's done. He has some problems with some balls that should be handled behind the plate, but that's really the only problem with him. But his offensive output is just sensational.
Less running in the game, you can get away with some more of that. We look through history, and we look at the Duke of Flatbush, Hall of Famer Duke Snider. 10 home runs, 24 RBIs against the Yankees over 5 World Series, the most by any single player against another opponent in postseason history.
Our community. For every home run the Dodgers hit at Dodger Stadium.
Joe Torre in that Yankee dugout. His team got 4 in the first. The Dodgers got 1, and here we go in the bottom of the third. Hideo Nomo first up, 2 out of 15 at the plate this season. Nomo, then is Turris, and Jason Worth for L.A. Nomo off the pitcher and right under the glove of Cairo. There's going to be a hit up the middle, then it looked like a sure out, and Cairo commits an error to start the third inning.
I think Miguel went to his right thinking he was going to have to backhand the ball. Watch it hit the left shin of Brad Halsey and then right through the wickets of Miguel Cairo. That's a major league error right there.
Glove came up, ball stayed down. 1 on, nobody out. Barry Bonds is coming up for the Giants up the coast. San Francisco leading Pedro Martinez 4-0. Matchup between the Red Sox and the Giants. And when Bonds comes up, we hope to be able to take you to that at bat. What's going to be going on here in Los Angeles? That's the question. An error starts the inning. And now a 1-1 is Turris, slapped at foul.
The one thing that you probably won't see is the double play ball hit into by Turris. He's gone 259 at bats without hitting into a double play. That leads all major leaguers.
While we play in L.A., let's go to San Francisco.
We welcome those of you watching the Yankees and the Dodgers. Pedro Martinez squaring off with Barry Bonds for the second time in the game here today. And what a confrontation they had in the first at bat. A base was open with a runner at second, and Pedro came right after Bonds, struck him out swinging on a 3-2 fastball.
Bonds saw 2 pitches in that at bat that he believes he should have hit and hit hard.
And now Pedro behind 2-0 to Bonds. Comes with a changeup, and Bonds way out in front of it, pops it up in a shallow center, and Kepler's got it. So Barry Bonds,
0 for 2 is Barry Bonds, and here, after mentioning it, Cesar is Turris. He's gone 259 at bats without grounding into a double play. Almost did it. As A-Rod started it with Cairo in the middle, it's 1 on, 1 out.
Joe Torre says that right now, Alex Rodriguez is a Gold Glove third baseman. That's not hype. That's the truth. That's how good
his athletic talent is in his first year as a third baseman.
I thought it was interesting when we asked him about what's different about that position as opposed to playing short. He said having to go to the backhand immediately without timing it or rounding it or whatever. And two, the body of a right-handed hitter shielding the ball, side of the ball, from the third baseman as the ball's being hit when it's turned on and hit down at the third baseman.
I'd never heard it put that way, but a guy who made that transition with aplomb, Joe Torre, certainly knows what he's talking about. MVP of the National League in 1971 as a third baseman.
He did it with the Cardinals, though, not with aplomb.
Right.
Check on the runner as Turris at first with one out. Worth singled and scored back in the first.
That play that Alex Rodriguez just made, by the way, is the play that Joe Torre was talking about before the game.
And Torre learned it. Here is Turris catching everybody napping, and it takes a great play by Cairo to save another error.
How about that? He went on the throw from Flaherty to the pitcher Halsey. This is not even a delayed steal. Playing on the inexperience of Brad Halsey.
Or Flaherty with that balloon throw.
Right? Combination of the two.
Worth went. It's 2-2.
Clearly going too far was Jason Worth.
It's Worth now, then Bradley to follow for the Dodgers with his Turris. Down at second base, one out at the moment. Should be the second out. Cairo goes out. Two down. And it's up to Bradley for the Dodgers. The Gillette Mach 3 power home run hitters.
Center fielder.
Tomey is up to 20. Getting to 400 this past week. Adam Dunn at 19. Albert Pujols hit number 18 last night for St. Louis to win the game in the 10th inning against Mike Matthews and the Cincinnati Reds. There's Griffey Jr. with his 18, looking for career home run number 500. Bradley takes ball one. Senior's been trailing around after Junior. So he is in St. Louis after making the drive from Cincinnati. 1-0. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Bradley doubled his first time. Set up second and third with one out for Green, and he grounded out for an RBI. On the inside corner, 1-2, and Halsey's moving it in and out pretty well. And look at Bradley. Went 35, 40 feet away from home plate, not agreeing with that call.
Ball was probably low, but it's not that you disagree. It's how you disagree. And if this ball is called strike three, then you might see Bradley kicked out of the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. It happened here at Dodger Stadium earlier this season, and Bradley went berserk, throwing a bag of balls out onto the field that drew a suspension of 4 games, which they are appealing. 2-2 pitch is fouled out of play off to the right. Some say, well, how can you appeal that? Why do you appeal that? That's the system that's set up, and it's the only time that a player gets to see the report from the other side, to see what the umpire says went on, and then argue off that. So it's worth it for that reason alone. 2-2 pitch. Bradley grounds to the left side. There's Alex Rodriguez making a good play to end the inning, and the Dodgers don't take advantage of the error to start the inning. We love it. Hey, I love L.A. 4-1. The Yankees on top after 3. Today's game on Fox brought to you by new M3 Power from Gillette. Feel the power of the world's best shave by Miller High Life to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And by Thompson's Water Seal. For the highest level of water protection guaranteed. First pitch is a strike to Hideki Matsui, who hit a 3-run home run back in the first. All the scoring in the first. 4-1 Yankees still. Fourth inning rolls in. Deonomo. Check swing. They appeal. He went. 0-2. Robin Ventura has been kind enough to put a microphone on, and not only a microphone, but an earpiece so he can hear us. Hi, Robin. And wouldn't you know it, we've talked to him during the entire break, and now his mic doesn't work. I kind of hear Robin. Here's an 0-2. Foul backing out of play. Robin, are you sitting on the transmitter?
Oh, I'm sitting on a lot of things.
Now we hear you better.
All right.
There we go. See? I can fix the audio problem. Yeah. What are you carrying these days?
Well, a lot of sunflower seeds right now.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Matsui leading it off. He goes down swinging. And Hideki is gone. You've been around a long time, Robin.
Thanks, Joe.
We were talking during the break. You don't know which way to go, left or right, to sit with the players or the coaches. What do you think?
I go right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Floach. Floach. Did you hear that, Tim?
I did.
Hey, is this Dodger team? You got to like what you have here. I mean, maybe there's some shortcomings, but what team can't say that? And this place is alive, man. This is fun to be at Dodger Stadium this weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely picked up this. I mean, last year obviously had some struggles, but now with us winning and people coming out, it's been great.
Robin, that's really one of the things that about which you can pride your career. You were with the White Sox in the early 90s. They were winners. The Mets won in 2000. With the Yankees, they were winners, and now the Dodgers are in first place.
Yeah, definitely my personality, Tim. My electric personality keeps us in first.
You're one of those closet smart guys, though. I mean, you sit there and you're quiet and you don't really say much, but there are always lines running through your head, aren't there? You're always just sitting on the right thing to say. It's just sometimes you don't say it.
Well, you come to a new team, you have this new material to them. When you play with a team for a long time, it becomes pretty old, so it becomes stale. So now it's new, so everybody thinks you're funny if you keep bouncing around.
One of the better reasons to be traded, right?
Right.
With 2 out, here's Miguel Cairo. He takes strike one. If you were playing against this Dodger team, I would imagine the theory is get a lead against the starters because your bullpen is just flat out nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's set up that way. I mean, you really ideally want to get to, Dreifert and Moda and Gagne. So it's like most teams that are good. You have a good bullpen and you go right to them.
What are your plans when the Grim Reaper for baseball comes knocking?
I don't know. I'm week to week, Joe. So we're trying to get through this week.
Well, good luck to you. You're almost through it. There's only one more day.
I know. That's what I have to look forward to.
Here's a 1-1 pitch.
What?
Blowing away.
Go.
Would you consider yourself intense, Robin?
Say that again?
Would you consider yourself intense?
Right now, this is as much as I get right here.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Well, you don't want to waste all your energy early in a game like that.
No, I got to wait around for like the 8th or 9th, so I save it up, and then I get to a fever pitch in about the 7th.
That's the Southern California way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Catching some righteous waves these days, are you?
I wish.
You do a little bit of that, don't you? Or you snowboard?
Yeah, well, you do both of those the older you get. You try and stay away from it when you're younger. Todd Zeal and I actually got into a little snowboarding, so pretty fun.
You just had to mention your buddy, the future filmmaker.
Yeah, he's making films these days, so, and hitting well, so that works well.
Who's that? What was that down there?
Riggleman. He's like the loudest guy. I'm sorry I'm sitting next to him.
Who's that to your left?
That's Bones. Let me get Bones in the picture.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
One of our clubhouse managers.
The guy in a flowered shirt sitting next to Robin.
California.
There he is.
Say hi, Bones. Hi, Bones. Said hi, Bones.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
4-1 Yankees after 3.5. Back Back at Dodger Stadium, all these people packed in, 55,000 plus, want to cheer for something good for the Dodgers. So far, it's been all Yankees in the impressive start from the left-hander, Brad Halsey. I would say he is as advertised. Now, the interesting thing is, the general manager of this Dodger team and the guy who really put this Dodger team together is Dan Evans. The ownership, the new ownership, Frank McCourt, took over in February. That's grounded to first, taken by Giambi, one out. Frank McCourt took over. Dan Evans, they were kind of in a salary freeze. They had a deal that was worked out for Vladimir Guerrero, but they couldn't pull the trigger because of the ownership change. Then he is taken out of here, and he is now, Tim, interestingly enough, scouting for Seattle. And you can read into that whatever you want, but if there's Freddie Garcia on Seattle, the Mariners right now are struggling and not in the race. Freddie Garcia appears to be on the block. The Yankees need starting pitching. They're throwing this kid, Halsey, today. You put 3 and 4 together and you come up with some sort of number, and you can make your own decision. That's down the left field line, and Beltre, with one out, hobbles down to second base for the double.
Just inside the line, Beltre with his 15th double of the year. I don't think there's any question. We talked about it last week. Carlos Beltran, in our opinion, would be the first to go, but Freddie Garcia, with the woeful season that Seattle is having, 27 and 38. One of the worst records in the major leagues. Dan Evans certainly here for a reason.
Here's Juan Encarnacion. Runner at second, one out. Yankees up by 3. Strike one over the inside corner. The record isn't good for Freddie Garcia, but the ERA is. It was better a couple of weeks ago. It's crept up to 3.23. 92 innings already, 74 strikeouts, and opponents hitting .242 against him. The Yankees need starting pitching. It's amazing that a team with a payroll of over $180 million needs anything, but there are holes on this Yankee team. They traded a lefty, gave White out of their bullpen last night back to Cincinnati. They don't have a Stanton-type shut-you-down left-hander in their pen. With the injuries to Kevin Brown and Mike Mussina, they're looking for starting pitching. Ball one inside Encarnacion.
They do lack a left-hander in the bullpen, but Tom Gordon and Paul Quantrill, guys that are depended upon by the Yankees, and Joe Torre to shut down left-handed hitting.
Here's a 1-2. Encarnacion fouls it. Add to that in the minor leagues, they have a young catcher, a switch hitter, Dioner Navarro, who is the best prospect the Yankees have. He's playing at Double-A. And his teammate, Robinson Cano, at Trenton, was moved from second base to third base. People believe that's in an effort to showcase him at a different position. Seattle and Kansas City are both looking for third baseman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oliver Stone now will stop talking. Sudden I'm a conspiracy theorist. There's something there. Dan Evans wouldn't be sitting there with clipboards and radar guns and all that. I don't believe. And Halsey wasn't out on the mound. Here's a 2-2 pitch. A little fly ball that's caught by Giambi. 2 out.
Second baseman, Jose Hernandez.
Full extension. Way up to get that one for the second out. And now Jose Hernandez looking for a 2-out RBI hit. Giambi's been bothered by a hip, bothered by a knee. On the disabled list earlier this season.
Hey,
Ball
nice
in the
meeting
dirt.
you, Joe.
Joe, I think the Yankees are probably less concerned about trading young prospects than other organizations are because of what the Yankees can do during the winter. They can afford to sign high free agents, highly priced free agents, or make trades for guys like Alex Rodriguez, sign Gary Sheffield.
Problem is, over the last couple of years, they've packaged a lot of the young guys to get Weaver, to get Boone. Now they're trying to get the PR machine rolling to drum up interest. Some of the other guys, and Halsey's on that list, go down to second, and Beltre gets back. Anything they could do to try to get other teams excited about prospects. But Navarro, the switch hitting catcher at Double-A Trenton, seems to be their best piece if they want to move him. But remember, Posada's 33. Navarro's at Double-A. Posada is signed for 2006 with an option for 2007. The timing could be right there where they have him getting ready. Posada could be in line for a position change or something else as he gets into his mid-30s. 3-1, 2 on, 2 out. It is time for our Pepsi Fan Cam with Father's Day coming up tomorrow. A little Eric Clapton for you, fathers and sons at the ballpark.
When I look in my father's eyes, my father's eyes.
So happy Father's Day to all the dads tomorrow.
Then the light begins to shine.
David Ross steps in with 2 on, 2 out. Tying run at the plate. Ross way late with that swing. Strike one. That was the first walk handed out by Halsey today.
David Ross with some pop. He had 10 home runs and only 127 plate appearances last year.
Time. Hold on. Thank you.
Very courteous. Wearing a microphone and getting time from the home plate umpire, Iasonia.
We know they're already acquainted.
Right. They know where each other's been. Their likes, their dislikes. 0-2. Beltre is not running well. He's the runner at second. On at first is Jose Hernandez. 2 out and 2 strikes on David Ross. And a big strikeout for Halsey. That's his 3rd of the day. The Dodgers have now left 4. Still 4-1 New York. Back after this from your local Fox station. Los Angeles, let me be the first to introduce you to the replacements for Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Tomorrow, NASCAR returns to Fox live from Michigan. Defending champion Kurt Busch takes points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. They clash as NASCAR thunders through the Motor City, one of its fastest tracks. Coverage begins tomorrow at 11 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Strike one from Hideo Nomo, who has figured it out after a long and, in the end, rough first inning. Retired 8 straight. The guy at the plate is the last guy to reach against Nomo. Brad Halsey, who singled to left in his first major league at bat. He's in the hole here 0-2. Ball 1.
We were kidding earlier talking about Joe Torre and his remarks about how young Brad Halsey looks, that he looked like his paper boy. His paper boy is doing very well today.
2-2 pitch. Move the ball in and out. He's moved the paper in and out. Kept the hitters off balance. Walked only 1, struck out 3, and allowed only 3 hits through 4. That's low. And Hideo Nomo will make this crowd groan if, after getting ahead of the pitcher 0-2, he loses it. Got to lay it in there. If Halsey can get his second big league hit. Strikes out looking. In at the knees, and that's strikeout number 2 for Nomo. Here is the jury virtual verdict question for today. Who would you rather have close the game? Mariano Rivera or Eric Gagne? Vote, log on to foxsports.com. Keyword the jury, which is a new show on Fox. We'll give you the numbers to help with your decision. 80 straight for Gagne. I think I know your answer.
Well, Gagne doesn't have the postseason experience that Mariano Rivera does. I think that's why I would lean toward Mariano Rivera.
Here are the numbers. Look at the bottom line, though. Rivera. 61 postseason appearances. Gagne hasn't been there, and that's not
Right.
anything. That's just the situation. But Rivera has been the MVP for this Yankee team pretty much since Joe Torre arrived in '96. Even then, he was the setup man to get to Wetland, who was the World Series MVP that year. But he has the postseason experience with World Series on the line. But this guy is phenomenal. I mean, the pitches and the stuff he has. The last pitch he threw last night to Bernie Williams was just filthy. The 0-2 to Bernie. Ball 1. They really do it different ways. Mariano Rivera features that cut fastball, and Eric Gagne, he could throw you anything.
Yeah, he left Bernie Williams in his crouch last night. And when you can leave a hitter in their crouch without having them stride, you know that pitch has been a very, very special pitch.
Go back to last night. Runner on, 2 out. Dodgers up by 3. Coming into the game. The anticipation. And here's the pitch. Oh. You can see when he's bringing that pitch to the plate, that breaking ball, the index finger is off it.
Right, right.
It's pointing up in the air. And he gets such good snap on that breaking ball that it literally just falls off the table. Now with 2 out, nobody on, here's Jeter, 1 for 2.
You would think that a hitter would be able to pick that up, but it's too late.
Left side, and a great pick by Beltran. Or good defense from the Dodgers. Hideo Nomo is doing his part after that long burst. Beltran to his left. Halfway through it. Yankees lead by 3. Today's game on Fox brought to you by Blue Rhino Propane Tank Exchange. It's as easy as drop, swap, and go. By Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. By Pepto-Bismol, Pink does more than you think. Use as directed. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. Moving right through this Dodger lineup is Halsey as he gets Nomo to go after the first pitch, strike 1. Hideo reached on an error and was left on back in the 3rd. 4-1 Yankees.
Who would have thought after that first inning, the 3-run home run by Hideki Matsui, that Hideo Nomo would get 2 at-bats in this ball game? Since that home run, by the way, only 1 base runner for the Yankees, and that was the single by Brad Halsey.
I want to bring a theory up to you that Al Roboski, who I work with in St. Louis, brought up to me, that in today's game, with so much reliance on videotape, scouting reports have always been there, and that's something you don't have with a young guy. Nomo gets into one to left, back at the wall. Hideo Nomo, goodbye, and it's a 4-2 game. Halsey gives up his first home run, and it's to his opposition, Hideo Nomo. Fourth big league home run for Hideo Nomo. And his first RBI of this season. Is Turris now with nobody on or out. Floats one into right center field. Sheffield, a long run in. He's there. One out just to finish. Scouting reports have always been there. But with so much reliance on video, when you see a guy for the first time, hitters have a difficult time in the box reacting to something that they're not already pre-programmed to have, having watched over and over on a laptop or on a video screen in their clubhouse. It's really an aspect of the game that's changed. One out, nobody on, and the batter is Jason Worth after his Turris fly to right.
Where you've become so familiar with a particular pitcher that you're doing everything right from a mental standpoint, but you're not preparing yourself to pull the trigger, perhaps.
And it really works within a game against a guy that you do have video of. If that pitcher changes the approach, guys are locked in one way going into the game and have a tough time adjusting to a pitcher adjusting to the hitters. With one out, the base is empty. No balls, 2 strikes on Worth, and that misses ball 1.
Well, I think that takes you back to one of the definitions of a smart player. A smart player between the lines is a guy who's prepared himself before the game starts.
Smart player between the lines is A-Rod, and a good dig by Jason Giambi on the other end, 2 out.
And when you prepare yourself before the game, then you give yourself a chance to react during the game. That's the smart player. It's not the guy who has to think first and then react during the game. It's the guy who prepares himself to react and then allows his God-given talents to come through.
With 2 out, nobody on, a run home, Milton Bradley is at the plate. Our in-game box score brought to you by Old Spice. The Dodgers, his Turris has been kept off the bases. Worth has a single run scored. All the way down at the bottom is Hideo Nomo with the solo home run to start this inning. It's a 2-run game. As the count goes to 0-2 on Milton Bradley, who's 1 for 2. The home run by Hideo Nomo, another $35,000 has been raised to fight prostate cancer. Oh and 2. Now 1-2, and the pitch to Bradley. Reaching for it, pops it up. Is there enough room for clarity? No.
Wrap that point up, Joe. It's that old golf expression, and with the Open being played at Shinnecock right now, I guess appropriate, paralysis through analysis. I think that there are a lot of young pitchers and hitters who study that videotape too much. They become paralyzed and dependent on it to the point where they have a very difficult time pulling the trigger once the game starts. I think there is something to that.
A ball and 2 strikes with 2 out, nobody on. You go into a big league clubhouse, Tim, and it's a row of laptops and television screens. Guys watching tape of the opposing pitcher for that game, or tapes of their at-bats from the night before.
You know, you're a professional ball player, not Roger Ebert.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Now ball 3 with Sean Green on deck. Halsey gave up the leadoff home run to Nomo, and to his credit, he doesn't appear rattled. He got his Turris to reach for a ball and pop it into right, and Worth grounded out to third. Now a 3-2. Bradley pops it up. Coming in is Cairo. He takes it, and that's it for the Dodgers. They get a home run from Nomo leading off. The lead is now 2 for New York as this Saturday game heads into the 6th. Hideo Nomo took matters into his own hands and hit the home run leading off the bottom of the 5th. 6th inning now, 4-2. Alex Rodriguez lines to his Turris, 1 out. It's always interesting to get details on the relationship between a catcher and a pitcher. And these two are working together today as the backup catcher, David Ross, is catching the day game after the night game. And I think the Dodgers this year, Tim, are going to be a little more cautious about overusing Paul Lo Duca behind the plate. Try to give him more of a break, maybe move him around defensively, because the last couple of years he has really tapered off in the second half of the year. Out in first. Nomo there to take the throw. Nomo last half inning hit a home run, and afterward got this from his catcher, David Ross.
Why you show me up like that? Huh? Why you show me up? I strike out, you hit a bomb. You showing me up? Okay, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you back. I'll get one. All right? Nice shot.
A little pump up from David Ross for his pitcher. Ross struck out with 2 on, 2 out in the 4th. Hideo Nomo, the next at bat for the Dodgers in the 5th, hit the home run. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Sheffield. Nomo has put it together now after that first inning and has an opportunity with where the Dodgers are in their lineup to go past 6 innings for the first time this season.
Coming into today's game, he had lost 6 straight decisions.
Ball 1 low.
Joe, baseball's great, isn't it? When you can get a catcher from Bainbridge, Georgia, talking to a pitcher from Japan and getting his point across.
Yep. The 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. Third again. You could hear a little grunt from either Ross or the home plate umpire, Iasonia, when that ball was in the dirt. Ross picked it. Here's a 2-1 to Sheffield. You don't need to see a number on his back, a name on his back. You just saw the waggle of the bat. You would know that's Gary Sheffield at the plate. Nobody else hits like that.
So true.
That on 3-1.
Splitter. There it comes toppling in one more time.
Three balls, 2 strikes with Matsui on deck.
Once you throw the splitter 3-1 or 2-0, now you set the hitter up for the fastball again, even though he handles the fastball well.
That misses high. That walk is the 3rd of the game and the 1st since the 1st for Nomo. Back in the 1st, Hideki Matsui with 2 on and 2 out. Hit one 330.
Yankees have scored more of their runs via the home run ball than any other team in the major leagues. 43% of the runs the Yankees have scored have come from the home run, and today no exception.
Today 75%.
Yeah, right.
Ball 1.
I think there is a perception that the reason that Japanese players come to the United States is they do so because of money. That's not true. Hideki Matsui, as an example, turned down a $63 million contract to sign with the Yankees for $21 million. Nomo's similar 10 years ago.
Pride has a lot to do with it, and the desire to prove yourself in another land, and so many other challenges for any player who heads across the globe to play. Cultural differences. Nomo stepped right in and won the Rookie of the Year in the National League back in '95. He was 4th in the line of 5 straight for the Dodgers. Harris in 92, Piazza 93, Mondesi in 94, then Nomo, then Todd Hollandsworth. Played so well for the Cubs, filling in for Sammy Sosa while he was hurt. On the inside corner, strike two.
If you don't think that's going to make massive headlines in Tokyo tomorrow, as Paul Quantrill warms up, the Yomiuri Giants are owned by the newspaper that will publish those headlines tomorrow. The first time that Matsui meets Nomo, he homers against him.
One and two on Hideki Matsui. Hitting under 200 this season at home. But around 365 on the road. Takes one in the dirt. Ross tried to stop it. Down to second is Sheffield as he was on his toes, and the wild pitch with the runner in scoring position.
On his toes indeed. Just running when the ball hit the dirt. Sheffield took off. Excellent base running by Gary Sheffield.
How many times have you looked down to first on a play like that and see a veteran standing there at first base?
Yep.
With the catcher going to get the ball?
That's right.
Big play with 2 outs.
The number of outs dictate that too. With 2 outs, you're willing to take that chance, particularly when you have the lead.
Matsui strikes out for the second time today. Hideo Nomo is through 6. We go to the bottom of number 6. Green, Beltre, Encarnacion coming up for the Dodgers. They trail 4-2. Coming up next week, MLB on Fox, the Mets at the Yankees, or the Phillies against the Red Sox at 1 o'clock, 10 a.m. Pacific time. You also have the Angels and Dodgers, or Astros Rangers. That's at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. That's the Fox Saturday baseball game of the week, a week from today. This could be the last hitter for Brad Halsey. You got the left-handed hitting Green, followed by the right-handed hitting of Beltre and Encarnacion, and Quantrill has been getting loose in the Yankee bullpen. He's ready to go. And if this is it, really almost no matter what happens with Green here, this has been a very impressive major league debut for Brad Halsey.
It really has. Joe, you talked earlier about the public relations machine of the New York Yankees. The best public relations machine going is the guy on the mound. He is pitching for himself today and doing a terrific job.
Green hits it foul. He got 4 runs of support in the top of the first, and then in the bottom of the first found himself in a second and third one-out situation. He got the guy at the plate, Green, to ground out for an RBI, then Beltre flied out. Grounds to second. See if that buys him another hitter or not. Cairo takes care of Green. Green's 0 for 3.
For the Dodgers, third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Well, the one thing with Paul Quantrill, Joe Torre told us this morning, is that he would prefer that Quantrill start an inning. The pitcher is due up third in the top of the 7th inning. So perhaps he'll see if he can get Beltre or Encarnacion. If Beltre or Encarnacion gets on, I think Quantrill will be in the game.
You can see Beltre hopping around. He has spurs in his left ankle. And he is not running well. And hopping and hobbling and doing everything he can to answer the bell every day for the Dodgers in his contract year. Feet moving all over the place with that pitch. And count 1-1.
Contrary to that old song, those spurs don't jingle, jangle, jingle.
No, they hurt.
They hurt. You didn't know that? Come
I was going
on.
to say it, but I refrained. I got spurs, they jingle, jangle, jingle. There's Scott Boras watching his client at the plate. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. He's either watching his client at the plate or he is eyeing Brad Halsey.
I think it's the former.
Here's the 2-2. Here are the numbers on Boris's client. Adrian Beltre last year to this year. Through 63 games. What a difference. He was healthier last year. Something to be hitting .312 coming into this game, .313 right now, and he can't run. Joe Torre will say it's a big deal about that. I was the MVP back in '71 and I couldn't run. Here's a chance on a high hopper to A-Rod. Slamming on that bag with the left foot. Out number 2. The day for Brad Halsey. Struck out his first. Got out of trouble. Got his first major league hit. Ran through the bag. And then got a souvenir. This is without a doubt the fast lane compared to pitching at Columbus for the Yankees in LA. Up over 100 pitches and working through the heart of the order for the 3rd time. That's impressive.
About 130 miles south of here, in honor of the great admiral during World War II, Bull Halsey. There is a boulevard named after him. Well, Brad Halsey is pitched like Bull Halsey today.
Here's a 1-1 Encarnacion. Floater into left, and that's going to fall for a 2-out hit. That'll bring up the tying run, Jose Hernandez, and that will bring Joe Torre out of the dugout.
They can't take a chance right here. I mean, Hernandez has too much pop. You almost have to bring the right-hander Quantrill in this situation.
While Joe Torre makes his way out to the mound, we'll give you our Budweiser Fantasy Player of the Week, Todd Helton. There are the numbers for the week. A .542 average. Log on to foxsports.com. Keyword fantasy baseball. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time, and what a nice ovation from these Dodger fans for Brad Halsey as he made his major league debut. Yankee fans love it. Yanks lead it 4-2. Brad Halsey in the dugout. Now he'll have to sweat the rest of this one out, hoping that his bullpen can hang on to a lead. 105 pitches into the 6th. Quantrill takes over. And the former Dodger hits the outside part of the plate. A strike to Hernandez. Quantrill wearing a brace on that right knee after the collision the opening game in Japan. Collision he had with A-Rod. So not totally healthy and missing outside, a ball and a strike.
And that's the big reason Joe Torre does not like to bring Quantrill into a game where he has to work from the stretch because of that brace on his right knee. That's his push-off leg, of course.
Tying run at the plate. Hernandez way late. Strike 2. Joe Torre will tell you he's not as concerned as he would have been in years past with the failure of the left-handed side of his bullpen because of Quantrill and Tom Gordon. Both very good against left-handed hitters. And very good against right-handed hitters. That's off the hands. Hernandez pops it up, and the inning is over. We go to inning number 7. The Yankees will bat. They're up by 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Hideo Nomo is pitching past the 6th inning for the first time this season. 4-2 Yankees on top. 7th inning, and John Flaherty at the plate. Flaherty's 0 for 2. If you remember when Joe Torre came out to make the pitching change and
bring Quantrill out of the bullpen. He got up to the top step and then stopped. And somebody said something to him in the dugout, and I would bet that it was, do you want a double switch? Because Quantrill is due up third in this inning. Long throw. His courage is true. 1 out. No double switch, so it's Cairo up now, and then the
Second
pitcher
baseman.
Quantrill.
Miguel Cairo.
Yeah,
if you double switch, you do one of two things. You weaken your defense, or you bring Posada into a game when he's supposed to have his off day.
We asked you that jury virtual verdict question for today. And the answer is, who would you rather have close? The answer is Rivera, 71%. The Gagne's 29%. And Cairo let that ball hit him. 1 on, 1 out, and that will give Quantrill a chance to bunt. Cairo made no real attempt to get out of the way of that pitch. Was good enough to let it just graze him as opposed to having to drill him in the knee.
That's a fair point, because it looked like Cairo was going into the ball as opposed to trying to get out of the way. But a bunt try right here.
It's out in front of the plate. Now they're calling it a foul ball. It looked like Ross grabbed it in fair territory. It may have hit Quantrill on the way out. Ross doesn't complain at all.
Excuse me, Joe. If it did, then Quantrill should be called out. But we'll see if it hit him in fair territory. Nope.
Wow. Let's see if that was out in front or not. It looked like it initially.
That was a fair ball, it looked to me. When he picked that ball up, looked to me like, of course it hits fair, but that has nothing to do with it. It's where it ends up. I think he barehanded that ball in fair territory.
It was close, but to Iasonia's credit, the home plate umpire, Ross didn't argue.
Yeah, right. Sometimes when you're feeling a ball like that, you can't tell whether it's foul or fair.
1 on, 1 out here, and Quantrill will have another chance. That was very close to a 2-6-3 or 2-6-4 double play on that bunt, but it was called foul. 1 on, 1 out. No balls, 1 strike on Quantrill. It throws right, bats left. The last successful sacrifice for Quantrill came in 1995 for the Phillies, even though he has been with the Dodgers. September of 95. The 1-1. Wasn't too sure of himself. Strike 2. Quantrill is on pace for a career high in games pitched. Rivera is on pace for a career high in games pitched. And Tom Gordon has been getting a ton of work. So the question is, while that triumvirate's been very good out of the bullpen for Joe Torre, will they hold up late into the year? Now, one of the three would be considered young.
No.
Quantrill's 35.
Working over 80 games a year over the last 3 years.
1, 2, 3 on that list. That's 5, 6, 3 double play. So the Yankees switched off, let Quantrill hit, and the worst situation happened for New York. The inning-ending double play ground ball. Time to stretch here at Dodger Stadium. For LA, it'll be the bottom 2 in the order. 4-2 New York. Today's game on Fox brought to you by Burger King. Step up to the Angus, a new steak burger from Burger King, and by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Bottom of the 7th inning, Dodgers bat. The number 8 man, David Ross, leads it off. Shows bunt, takes a strike from Quantrill. Pinch hitter on deck, so Nomo is finished after going 7, and after a rough first inning, he was terrific. Only 1 hit the rest of the way, 4 total, but a 3-run homer in the first. might be enough for the Yankees today. It followed the RBI hit by Sheffield, made it 4-0 off the bat of Hideki Matsui. But Noble ought to be very happy with the way he got it together, and the Dodgers have to be relieved. Ross, strike 2. These players, just so you know, are asked, not told, to wear a microphone. And we appreciate very much David Ross helping us out today. Here comes a 1-2. That's jerked down the line after promising Nomo he'd hit a home run. He came close. Jason Grabowski is in the on-deck circle. He will hit for Nomo. And then back to the top is Turris. Good game. 4-2 New York. 2-2. Ross leading off, hits it sharply, but right at Jeter on a backhand. 1 out. Ross is 0 for 3. We give you our game summary brought to you by Nissan. Majority of the scoring in the first. Nomo outlasted Halsey, but Halsey is in line for a victory in his Major League debut. The big hit, the one big swing of the day, that from Hideki Matsui made it 4-0. A run in the bottom of the first driven in by Green, and a home run by Nomo has made it 4-2, and that's it. Grabowski takes strike 1. That's popped into left center field, and the guy who hit a big 2-run home run against the Orioles earlier in the week flies out. 2 down. Let's hear more from David Ross after that last at bat. 2 out, nobody on. Ross was questioning where the pitch was after swinging at it. Is Turris trying to bunt his way on? Fair ball. Base hit. And with a power threat like Jason Worth coming up, in a 2-run game in the 7th inning is Turris. And that has to go in the category of a perfect bunt.
It was absolutely perfect. A blueprint that ends up on the line.
All the good catchers will come into a series on the road and roll a ball down each baseline to see how the field is contoured. That ball got off the grass, got to the white stripe, and stopped.
One of the truly great descriptions of a good bunt is a guy who catches the ball with the bat. And you could see is Turris taking so much off of that fastball from Quantrill.
Don't you really want to hear what David Ross said in that at bat?
Sure.
Well, let's try.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, you got to remember, I don't play that much. I'm just trying to get a feel for the zone, man.
That's a ball to Jason Worth. Asking Dan Iassogna where the pitch was after he swung and trying to get a feel for it. He's been catching for 2 hours.
Yeah.
1 on, 2 out. Strike 1. We saw Worth hit a huge home run. Huge with regard to distance at Fenway Park last Saturday. Former first-round pick of the Orioles. Out of the way of ball 2. They like the power that Jason Worth provides. hitting only .227 coming into the day. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. He has a hit. There's another into right center field, and his Turris will go to third. First and third, 2 out. Tying runs are on for L.A. During our opening, we talked about Sean Green being the guy who needs to step up for the Dodgers and deliver. Well, right now it's Milton Bradley. Dodgers trying to get the punch and the big hit that the Yankees have had all season long. Quantrill will think about that bunt hit by his Turris, leading to a hit by Worth, leading to his exit from the game and the entrance of Flash Gordon.
Really, when you come in here, you thought of Drysdale and you thought of Koufax. It was Osteen and Sutton, Karanowski, Maury Wills and Gilliam and all the switch hitters. You know, nobody had a great deal of success here because their pitching was so good and they played well defensively. They were a very aggressive team. But you always enjoyed coming here because you had a chance to see movie stars. You had a chance to play in wonderful weather, and it was always exciting.
They laid down Drysdale. And now this crowd wants to see Milton Bradley deliver with first and third, 2 out against Tom Gordon. Strike 1. Joe Torre telling us before the game, lefty, righty, whatever. I've got a couple of closers down there that I can use, and that's what he considers Gordon as he brings him on here in the 7th. There's his main man. First and third, 2 out. Bradley nearly walked into it. Ball 1.
Joe Torre, whose wife Ollie is carrying the Olympic torch Yankee Stadium this afternoon. And the Dodgers, meanwhile, looking for an Olympic feat out of Milton Bradley.
Here comes a 1-1 instead of throw to first, and Worth gets back. The torch trip was kicked off here in L.A. The 1-1. Strike 2. Runner at third is Turris. Runner at first is Worth. A bunt hit, a base hit to right. Halsey watching. Gordon misses, 2-2. You don't get many late inning chances against the Yankees in their bullpen. An opportunity for Los Angeles here. Worth is running. Bradley grounds it. Tough play for Cairo or Jeter, and what a play by Jeter. Flashed across the infield, covered a ton of ground, and got the out at first, while his Turris came to the plate. He just always seems to be in the right place at the right time for New York. Still 4-2 Yankees after 7. Dodgers need a new pitcher as we go into the 8th inning, and it's Duaner Sanchez. Top of the order for New York. There's Sanchez, and he will work to Williams, Jeter, and Alex Rodriguez. This guy has been not talked about much. But there's been a stretch this season from the middle of May to the middle of June. He gave up 1 earned run in 15 innings. Hard-throwing right-hander with good numbers. That misses inside. It's 2-0 on Bernie Williams, who this season came into the game with an on-base percentage of .432 during interleague play. And he has taken over the leadoff spot. Joe Torre said it's given him new life. Up the middle, tough play as Turris can't get to it, and it's a leadoff hit, first hit of the game for Williams.
That was a bizarre
way to end the bottom of the 7th inning, because Jason Worth, the runner on at first base, by him running on the play, representing the tying run, it positioned Derek Jeter, who was coming over to cover the bag, to be in the position to make an incredible play from a positioning standpoint. Nicely done by Jeter, but had the Dodgers not run, you got to figure that the score is 4-3 with a chance to tie it.
And not to make too much of it, but that was not that easy on the part of Giambi at the end of that play.
Nope.
A-Rod, or rather Jeter, with A-Rod on deck, showed bunt and gets flipped. And Jeter doesn't look back at the pitcher, but he's not too happy.
Well, that's really the age-old way of pitching to a hitter in a bunt situation. Pitch him tight, pitch him high, and really a good pitch by Sanchez. Derek fortunate to get the fat part of the bat on the ball. Casey Stengel used to say, when they're trying to bunt, knock them down.
Again. And you can hear Ross say foul ball. Jeter is going to say that it hit him on the hand, and Iasonia is going to give Jeter first base. And we'll have an argument.
I think, Joe, the reaction of the hitter is the best gauge as to whether it hit him or not. If he starts shaking his hand immediately, there's no way to act that out. And it looked to me like Jeter started shaking the hand immediately, which indicated that he was hit on the fingers instead of the ball hitting the bat.
Well, Sanchez comes inside with the first 2 pitches, and you could hear with a microphone on Ross, he immediately said foul ball.
Watch Jeter's right hand. When that hand went up, there's no way to fake that. Guys can't think that quickly. And it did appear to get him on the right hand, the heel of the right hand.
Let's listen. That's Ross pleading for a foul ball instead of hit by pitch, and now it's 2 on with nobody out. The Yankees can blow it open. They've got Alex Rodriguez up and then Giambi to follow.
For the Yankees, third baseman Alex Rodriguez.
Adrian Beltre, in other situations here, might be playing in, but not with Alex Rodriguez at the plate.
Nope, no sacrifices this year, and be shot if Alex bunts here.
Doesn't get $25 million a year to bunt. Strike 1. Rodriguez has walked and scored, grounded out, lined out. And this is the stat that Joe Torre still says bothers Alex Rodriguez, and he hasn't settled in. He said in Seattle, Griffey left, Rodriguez was looked to, and he either did it or he didn't, and everybody looked to A-Rod to get it done. The same in Texas. He said now in New York he doesn't have to do that. He's got Jeter, he's got Williams, he's got Giambi, he's got Sheffield, but he's putting too much pressure on himself in RBI opportunities. Here's one with 2 on and nobody out. Head on the count, 2 balls and a strike. Giambi next, and Martin getting ready, a lefty in the bullpen for LA. Left side, base hit. Bernie Williams comes to the plate. The throw is cut off, and they have Jeter hung up. Beltre with a tag for the first out of the inning, and it's a 5-2 New York lead.
You rarely see, perhaps, considering his foot speed, the best base runner in the game make a mistake like this. And the only reason it's a mistake is because the number of outs when he tried it. Beltre sees Jeter rounding second too far and cuts the ball off. If there were 2 outs, this play would be permissible. With nobody out, it's not.
Add to that. Now the runner goes. Throw down to second is hot, and Rodriguez steals second. Going to say, add to that, they had no shot at Bernie Williams coming to the plate.
No.
With how deep Worth was playing. Yet Jeter fell into that trap, and how thankful are the Yankees that Izturis didn't come down on the hands of Alex Rodriguez on that throw down. He came close.
That head first slide. The minor league.
Giambi flies to left. Worth. 2 out.
In the minor leagues, organizations are training their players not to slide head first.
Right
Make
fielder,
sure it's a foot first slide. But guys who have done it all their lives, and Alex Rodriguez is one of them, the Yankees would prefer not to see this because, as you pointed out correctly, Joe, the chance of someone coming down on one of those valuable fingers, too great.
Lou Brock, one of the best base stealers ever, never went in hand first. Never. Ricky Henderson, the man who broke Lou Brock's record, did it a lot. That's outside for ball 2. The intentional pass to Sheffield. We'll put 2 on for Hideki Matsui, and then we'll have a pitching change. There's ball 4, 2 on, 2 out. Matsui coming up, and that's it for Duaner Sanchez.
For the Yankees, left fielder Hideki Matsui.
We look back to October 8, 1956. Pivotal game 5 of the World Series. Don Larson, who had a 3-21 record 2 seasons before.
Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter, a perfect game for Don Larson. Yogi Berra runs out there. He leaps on Larson, and he's swarmed by his teammates. Listen to this crowd roar.
Duaner Sanchez is out after giving up a run here in the 8th. 2 on, 2 out. And the new pitcher is a left-hander, Tom Martin.
Talked about Paul Quantrill last year, the last 3 years, having over 80 appearances. Well, Tom Martin had 80 for the Dodgers last year. Very serviceable left-handed pitcher. Against Matsui right here, in all probability, Matsui will hit the ball to left field. For whatever reason, left-handed hitters have a very difficult time pulling left-handed pitchers' fastballs. And that's what Tom Martin features.
2 on with 2 out, and Alex Rodriguez strayed far from second base on ball 1 outside. The numbers today for the Yankees for the season: 268. That's on the corner. We showed you that historical piece with the Don Larson perfect game. Joe Torre was at that game. Brother Frank got him tickets. Joe Torre growing up in Marine Park in Brooklyn, but grew up a Giants fan. 2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. To the right side. Hernandez throws it away. In to score is Rodriguez. Over to third is Sheffield. Down to second is Matsui. And that makes it 6-2 here in the 8th.
Normally the Dodgers have very steadfast infield defense, particularly up the middle, but a routine play.
Catcher, John Flaherty.
Jose Hernandez carelessly throwing it to the right and by Sean Green.
First error in 10 games for the Dodgers. And it leads to a run. At least a run. Flaherty takes the ball inside.
I think the problem there was Jose threw the ball prematurely. He didn't allow Green to get his feet set. And actually Green had to field that ball and catch it as he was making his turn.
That's into left field, and Worth is there to end the inning. 2 runs in the frame, 1 scoring on the error by Hernandez. It's now 6-2 Yankees. Middle game of this set. Back after this from your local Fox station. For defensive reasons, Tony Clark takes over at first base. Giambi has the rest of the day off. It's 6-2 New York as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Sean Green takes a strike from Tom Gordon. So 2 runs in the 8th, 1 driven home by Alex Rodriguez. And then Rodriguez scored on the error, throwing error by Jose Hernandez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Green, then Beltre, then Encarnacion. Sean Green is 0 for 3. Here's a 1-1. Checked his swing, 2 balls and a strike. Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, reminding us about the lead in the paper after that Don Larson perfect game by Joe Trimble of the Daily News. 2-1. Green swings through it, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The lead was the imperfect man pitched the perfect game.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. That is wonderful.
More to the story, but who knows? We'll get a chance to say it. Here's a 2-2. That's strike 3 on the inside corner as Green's frustration continues. 1 out.
Well, an imperfect play by Jose Hernandez added to the Yankee lead. The one luxury that a second baseman has is to allow the first baseman to plant his feet before he makes the throw. Right here, Hernandez is ready to throw, and the back of Sean Green is still there. And by throwing it that hard, that close, Green doesn't have a chance to make the play.
Now with 1 on, the batter is Beltre. The other part of that story is Trimble was sitting there looking at his typewriter blocked, and Dick Young, the famous sports writer, leaned over and gave his colleague that line, which became famous. Wow. No balls, 2 strikes from Gordon to Adrian Beltre.
Dick Young was a younger writer on the staff, I guess, at the time.
So there you go.
It was Dick Young's line.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Popped up behind the plate. Flaherty. 2 out. Jeannie Zelasco is standing by with an update. Jeannie?
And we have some drama by the base. 2 outs. The base is loaded with Red Sox. Trot Nixon in as a pinch hitter. Little flare to left center, and it's cleared. The bases ties up the ball game. We sit 4-4 top base.
Barry trying to grab that with a bare hand, and that didn't work. So a big mistake, and you look at where the Red Sox sit in the AL East, 3.5 games behind first place New York. The Yankees have the best record in all of baseball, 42-23 coming in. Second best record in all of baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals. One of the Russa's team playing terrific. Right now they've won 5 straight. With 2 out, nobody on. Encarnacion in the hole 0-2.
If you're on a team like the Cardinals are right now, you get the feeling that they know they're going to win, regardless of how many runs down they are. That's the way it is with the Yankees. Cardinals winning a game, coming back to tie it in the 9th inning last night, won by Pujols in the 10th. But the New York Yankees, the best come from behind team in baseball, 27 come from behind wins this year for New York.
6 times they've done it when they've trailed by 4 or more runs. Talked to Joe Torre about that win they had on Sunday against San Diego, coming back not once but twice. Tie it in the 9th against the Padres and win it. In the 11th, that ends the inning, and Gordon rolls right through 4 hitters. We go to the 9th inning at Dodger Stadium. 6-2 New York. Major League Baseball on Fox, brought to you by Dr. Scholl's Massaging Gel Insoles. Are you gelling yet? By Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. By Subway. Eat fresh. And by Coca-Cola. Let's make it real. 9th inning now at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers won last night. Yankees trying to even this series with a night game tomorrow night. Jose Contreras against Jose Lima. And there is the left-hander, Brad Halsey, pitching on 3 days rest today, making his Major League debut. And he was very impressive. 5 2/3 innings, 2 runs and only 5 hits. Just 1 walk. He was pretty much as advertised. He didn't seem flustered. He threw strikes. Wilson Alvarez is on the mound. He's the 4th pitcher of the day for the Dodgers. Barry Bonds is due up shortly in San Francisco. When we last checked on that game, they were tied 4-4. He made the error out in left center field. We will take you to that at bat. Tom Brenneman, Steve Lyons are standing by. We're in the 9th inning here. Bonds is at the plate in San Francisco.
We welcome those of you watching the Yankees and the Dodgers. Boston has just scored 3 times to tie the game in the top of the 8th inning. And Barry Bonds bats for the 4th time today. Believe it or not, he has not been walked today. In 3 at-bats against Pedro Martinez, he struck out swinging, popped up to short center, and popped up to the second baseman. But now he faces a new pitcher, Alan Embry, his former teammate. 2 balls and no strikes. Bonds, a moment ago, committed an error in short left center field, which allowed the tying run to score from first base on a pinch hit 2-run single by Trot Nixon. On the ground to the shortstop, Cesar Crespo, and he throws Bonds out.
So nothing today for Barry Bonds yet, but they're tied. Who knows how long that one will go. Here it's 6-2 New York. The top of the 9th inning, and it's a full count. Wilson Alvarez, one of 2 left-handers the Dodgers feature, coming out of their bullpen. They hope to get Paul Shuey back. Might go on a rehab assignment next week. Hard-throwing right-hander, bothered by a bad thumb and a bad hip. Cairo pops it into center for Milt Bradley. Cairo 0 for 3. Our Tinactin great feat of the game. The work done by the 23-year-old left-hander. And he was ready today. Brad Halsey.
I think your point well taken too, Joe, that a guy like Halsey, as advertised, was very calm, and his demeanor was just super, along with his stuff. But keep in mind, those scouting reports came from a young man's demeanor in the minor leagues. And to step in on this stage with this team in this ballpark is just a sensational job by the 23-year-old left-hander.
On his way to a victory if the bullpen can hang on, and he can't see the bullpen from where he is sitting. But congratulations, Brad Halsey. Mariano Rivera is getting loose. Ruben Sierra, pinch hitting, gets a base hit into left center field. We were in Chicago last year, Tim, when Ruben Sierra was added to the roster for Joe Torre.
Bernie Williams.
The two did not part amicably when Sierra was with the Yankees earlier in his career. A quote that was attributed to Ruben Sierra, who knows by now if it's true or not, on his way out the door, said all they care about is winning.
So they wondered how his personality would fit back in with the Yankees, and he has been a model citizen, and on top of that, a big threat off the bench for Joe Torre. He's happy to have him. The first pitch is high to Bernie Williams, who's 1 for 4.
That's one of those quotes that follows you around even after retirement, that all of the team that you just left cares about is winning.
Whose point are you trying to make? We've got our first beach ball. Land on the playing field. Out by the Oral Hershiser sign, and Milton Bradley kicks it to number 4. And Bernie Williams hops back in. Sierra on with 1 out. Williams up, Jeter on deck. One and one from Wilson Alvarez. Wilson signed a big contract, Tim, with Tampa Bay, and then just couldn't stay healthy.
I was, the minute you mentioned the Hershiser picture in right center field, I was thinking about the different memories in different ballparks, but that was the last time the Dodgers were in the World Series. 1988, Oral Hershiser, the MVP of the National League Championship Series and the World Series that year. The Kirk Gibson home run, beating the A's in 5. 16 years ago. Since then, the Dodgers have, with the exception of 2 brief divisional playoff appearances in the mid-90s, they have done nothing. They're back on top in June, however.
I think with a little tweaking here and there, they have every reason to believe they can win the National League West. Yep. You can say they need a bat, or maybe their starting rotation is 1 arm short, but what team these days that's out there doesn't have a hole or 2 to try to get around? And that's the case with the Dodgers, but that's the case with the Yankees. 1 on, 1 out, 2-2 pitch, full count. Jeter is hitting now. Alex Rodriguez rebounding after a bad April. Bernie Williams is hot now in the leadoff spot. Sierra didn't know whether to go or not. Took a couple of steps, stopped with a count 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Referring to Bernie Williams, Joe Torre has said that his hands have come alive. A lot of times, that's just a matter of being a little more compact with your swing.
That's into right center field, slicing away from Milton Bradley. On the run, he's got it. Great running catch, and now the throw behind Sierra. Pretty good effort by Bradley, but it's wide, and it's 1 on, 2 out.
Bernie Williams' hands have come alive. From the hot hands of Bernie Williams, Bernie didn't think he got all of that one. He may not have gotten all of it, but a fine, fine running catch by Milton Bradley.
The guy the Yankees got to be the leadoff hitter in their lineup this year is Kenny Lofton. And Kenny has got to be frustrated with the way things have gone this season. He's been on the disabled list. He's back and active. Hit a game-tying home run last Sunday in that come-from-behind effort against the Padres. But he is now on the bench, and I'm sure the object of affection for a lot of teams that are looking for a leadoff hitter if the Yankees would be willing to part with him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kenny. And right now, the numbers that Bernie Williams is putting up as a leadoff hitter will keep Kenny in that spot.
sitting on the bench, and Williams in the leadoff position. When he is hit leadoff coming into this game today, he walked in with a .441 average. He is 1 for 5 this afternoon. On base percentage way up. Kenny is wondering if the rest of this season will hold. Still 1-2 on Jeter. Lofton, who had some great years with the Indians, a couple of different stints with Cleveland, leading off.
Terrific year with the Cubs last year.
Good with Atlanta while he was there. The Yankees had Knobloch in the leadoff spot toward the beginning of the run by the Yankees under Joe Torre, and they've never really replaced him. Sierra's running. And he caught Alvarez napping. A stolen base with 2 out. Well, you would have to believe that Alvarez didn't pay much attention to Sierra. Look at the size of that lead.
And the jump going into second base. Almost uncontested. David Ross did what he could, but no way to nail anybody with that type jump, regardless of his speed.
The skies are finally clearing here at 3:09 in the afternoon. It has burned off. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Alvarez. Jeter now with an RBI chance. New supply of baseballs for the home plate umpire. Another bag full of 5. Sierra at second with 2 out. And a 2-2 pitch again to Jeter from Alvarez. Another foul. The Dodgers in the bottom of this ninth will have Hernandez, David Ross, and then a pinch hitter. They have Ventura on their bench. They have Loduca on their bench. They have Signs. I bet even Ross will be lifted. They'll try to do what they can. It's imperative, if you're the Dodgers, for Alvarez to keep it as close as possible. But Rivera, it looks like, is coming in for the Yankees. Two pitch is grounded to second. Hernandez, they'll cheer him if it's a good throw. That ends the inning. Hernandez with an error last chance. This time is through with his delivery to first. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning here at Dodger Stadium, 6-2, New York. 2 of the best, and there is a lot of respect from the guy on the left for the guy on the right. Here is Gagne talking about how the two compare.
I don't really worry about it. I mean, I got a job to do. He's got a job to do. He's been doing this for 10 years, 10, 12 years, been successful for a long time. So I'm in his footsteps. I want to be like he is right now. I want to be doing this for 10, 12 years. And I mean, I don't even like to be my name being, pronounced the same sentence as he is.
Well, these days it is, and it is for good reason. I mean, this is a guy who has saved 80 consecutive games without blowing one. That is amazing. And we talked about it last Saturday after Folk blew one for the Red Sox, but he did so because of an error. I mean, so many things have to go your way, along with being just dominating. But these two are about as automatic as it gets. First pitch swing, and that's into right center field, and a good start for the Dodgers. Hernandez is on, with L.A. trailing by 4. Last night up by 3, Gagne gave up a leadoff hit, but did not give up any runs.
That's the one thing you want to do with Rivera. His 36th appearance of the year. But you want to swing early in the count because you want your full allotment of strikes. There is no spotting him a strike as you would some guys who are occasionally wild, because he's not occasionally wild. Robin Ventura is hitting for David Ross. And then the Dodgers will need another pinch hitter, and Olmedo Saenz is in the on-deck circle. Giants are up in San Francisco over Boston 6-4. And these two teams are paying attention to that series. New York came in 3.5 up on Boston. The Dodgers 2.5 up on San Francisco. A wide strike, and it's 1-2.
The thing Rivera does, he makes left-handed hitters so conscious of the running fastball in on the hands that you take a pitch you'd normally swing at.
Ventura is still talking to Dan Iasonia, the home plate umpire. Former teammates Rivera and Ventura, one on, nobody out. Robin stays up there. The 1-2 again. Ventura's tied up and he's gone. Nasty pitch down and in, 1 on, 1 out.
This cutter had to move about 6 inches in off the plate and under the hands of Robin Ventura.
Olmedo Saenz is at the plate, pinch hitting for Alvarez, who went an inning and allowed a hit. Halsey still doesn't look anxious on the bench.
Nope.
He's 2 outs away from his first major league win. The Dodgers and Yankees have met in the World Series 11 times. The Yankees have won 8 of them. It happened 4 times in the 50s, 3 times in the 40s. The Dodgers 1-6 against the Yankees as the Brooklyn Dodgers, 2-2 since moving to LA for the 58 season. They won in 63 and 81. They lost in 77 and 78. With a long, rich tradition between these two organizations. Renewed with interleague play. The Dodgers won last night. The Yankees leading in this one. Now 2 balls and a strike on sign. Showed you Duke Snider earlier. 10 home runs, 24 RBIs in his career in the postseason against the Yankees. It's the most in both categories for any one player against one opponent. 2-1. Sign grounds to short. Might be 6-4-3. Dodgers take game 1. The Yankees take game 2. And congratulations to Brad Halsey. He picks up his first major league win as he just rolls right on out of the dugout. 1-0 in the big leagues.
When Joe Torre first saw Brad Halsey this morning, first time ever, he said he looks like his paper boy. And here Brad Halsey will be headlines in the New York papers tomorrow morning.
6-2 is the final, and the Yankees, thanks in large part to a 2-out, 3-run home run by Hideki Matsui in his first ever matchup against Hideo Nomo back in the first inning, win this game to set up the rubber match tomorrow night. Next week, we ask you to join us on Saturday. The Mets at the Yankees, the Phillies at the Red Sox, Angels, Dodgers, Astros, and Rangers. A strong pitching performance today from Brad Halsey. Quantrill, Gordon, and Rivera, the trio out of the bullpen for the Yankees, and they do their thing again here today. The big hit of the afternoon came in the first inning. A 2-out rally was capped with this. Hooked down the right field line, and a 3-run shot for Matsui, his 12th home run of the season. Dodger Stadium begins to empty, and we again show you our final score. The Yankees win it, a final of 6-2. The studio show is coming up on the other side of the break. Halsey over Nomo,
For Tim McCarver and all of us here at Dodger Stadium, I'm Joe Buck. The Yankees win the second game of this set, 6-2. And let's go to Jeannie and Kevin.
Tomorrow, NASCAR returns to Fox Live from Michigan. Betting champ Dirk Bush and points leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. clashes NASCAR thunder through the Motor City at one of the finest and fastest tracks. Coverage begins tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Another great sports weekend as we welcome you inside the Fox Network Center. Jeannie Velasco, along with Kevin Kennedy. Big interleague play. We were expecting some intrigue. Maybe didn't get what we wanted out of Pedro and Berry, but it sure was fun at Dodger Stadium.
Well, Pedro got Berry out. He just didn't have trouble in the first inning, especially Ray Durham with the home run getting it going. Moore had a big hit. Grissom. Pedro is not the same guy he was a couple of years ago. And in the Dodger game, of course, the Yankees get a big home run from Matsui. Hitting off a Nomo. Never faced each other in Japan.
Absolutely.
Got a split-fingered fastball, hooked it into the right field corner there.
And then Nomo hitting a home run as well.
What I liked also, Jeannie, was the kids pitched well. Halsey for the Yankees pitched well. And Noah Laurie for the Giants pitched well. They both pitched very similar. Changed speeds. Not afraid to throw a changeup behind the count. So good news for the Giants for a young pitcher. Same thing for the Yankees.
All right, there's your history. How about a little drama today? We'll take you to Wrigley. Bottom 9, fun finish.
Well, that's Michael Barrett right there in the corner, 1 out. Can both guys score on this? That's Jermaine Dye trying to get this ball in. Here comes the relay. Take it, Jeannie.
Well, I guess all you need to say is it's the 14th blown save for Oakland.
That's all you need to say. Exactly right.
What's going on with the A's?
Well, that's good news for the Angels. That's their one Achilles heel, the bullpen so far. They don't have Keith Polk anymore. We know that. This guy was lights out for them. They're not getting it done right now.
And the Cubbies get their 7th win in their last 8 games.
Chicago kind of sneaking up now. They're getting healthy. Sosa back in the lineup. Couple hits today. Mark Pryor, 5 innings pitched. St. Louis, though, surprising everybody, maintaining the lead in the Central.
Difficult time for Oakland to be on the slide here because they will be going into Anaheim this week.
And Anaheim, of course, 2 games out. They've had their own troubles. They got to face Roger Clemens tonight. That's not good news for them facing the Astros.
All right, let's talk about the game. One of the games you may have just seen by the Bay.
Well, Alfonso, a big home run. Bonds making a big error there in the 8th inning. Trot Nixon gets a base hit to tie it. Bonds tried to barehand that ball, and that blew the game right there. But Alfonso saves a big pinch hit home run to win it.
And at Dodger Stadium, it was errors and just confusion for the Yankees on a Friday night.
Here's the youngster I'm talking about, too, Jeannie Halsey. That's good news. Lefty out of the University of Texas, pitched extremely well. The Yankees looking for some starting pitching. They got it today with the injuries to Brown and Mussina.
And that brings us to the AL East standings. We get to tell you exactly where the Yankees and the Red Sox are both hanging right now. They're both done for the day.
Reversal of last night. Boston comes back and beats the Giants last night. Today, I should say, they lose it. Same thing last night. The Yankees lose last night. They win it today. Dodgers, therefore, and the Giants, 1.5 games behind. Unbelievable that the Giants have gotten back in this race. And after tomorrow's game on Monday, the Giants and the Dodgers match up in San Francisco for a 4-game series.
All right, we asked you earlier in the day to log on to foxsports.com and let us know which is baseball's greatest franchise.
The Dodgers should be up a little bit higher than that.
A bit shocking, though. They've really fallen out of favor since the last ownership.
Well, we know that. A lot of Sox fans. Yankees, no surprise, 26 World Championship.
All right, this, not a surprise. Watching all the cash roll in for the home run select game. The money all goes to fight prostate cancer. Look at that, just today.
4 more home runs,
Through Father's Day tomorrow, trying to help keep Dad in the game.
In total, over $2.5 million raised.
I'm glad you're keeping track of that.
I remember. Well, I was an accountant at one time.
I know that. My tax is done. Next week on the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week, more interleague play. We've got the Mets battling the Yankees, the Phillies taking on the Red Sox, or how about the Angels taking on the Dodgers, the Astros squaring off against the Rangers. The fun continues. Coverage 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And yes, go ahead.
Did you get an extension? Let me do your
You're the one who's supposed to be working on that for me. Why don't you get to work on that?
Good numbers today for the Yankees, good numbers today for the Giants.
And this is a good night for us. We'll see you next Saturday.
Over the past 10 years, some of the greatest moments in all of sports happened right here on Fox.
Rips one, goodbye! Ruskin homers in his final All-Star game.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, celebrating 10 years of excellence.